the quick spit. Today we're talking about pressure notes. This is a request from someone. They sent me a message on Facebook saying, hey, this is one note I don't know how to do. Can you help me figure it out? So today we're going to go over the fundamentals of it. We'll kind of break it down, figure out what it sounds like, what we need to be doing with it, and we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to apply it to field situations, and believe me, this is not an excuse not to get the DVD bad grammar. That thing will go miles above anything that we're gonna cover on here. So I'll put a link down below. Make sure to go order it. It's the best $20 you can spend to get your calling better. So yeah, go get it. It's gonna help you out. But we're gonna help you with a little bit with a quick spit today. Quick spit and spit no. We're gonna describe it a little bit differently than how he describes it in the video, just in case that hasn't really helped you in the past. We're gonna try it. And Boone, you need to quit making some noise. What are you doing? No. Hey, you wanna go hunting? Here you go. You wanna go hunting? Huh? Hey, here you go. Huh? You ready to go hunting? That dog's just like me. Can't wait to get out in the field again. All right, let's go out to the garage. Let's get to it so we don't piss anyone off in here. Holy crap, it is a mess out here. We've got teal season going on. We've got middle of fishing. We got just everything going on at once out here, and I need to get some of this stuff cleaned out. But anyway, the quick spit. So basically what a quick spit is, it's a really mean, aggressive note that birds make when they're defending territory, food, something like that. So it immediately comes to mind that, hey, this is probably a pretty good note for a little bit later in the season. I mean, you can use it during early season and everything too. It's still a really powerful note. But this note really shines when those birds get aggressive and you're trying to show aggression in the field. So basically, how are we going to do this note? Basically, the way I've had it described to me is that it's a cluck. It's a really, really aggressive cluck with a little bit of something extra at the front of it. And we'll go into detail of how to get that little extra something to put on the front of that cluck. So this is what it's going to sound like. This is what it's going to sound like. This is the quick spit. All right. So basically, the way to understand this note is it is that hyper cluck that's got a little bit of something on it. I'll do a cluck, and then I'll follow it by a quick spit. So this is a cluck, then the next note will be a quick spit. Okay, so as you can hear, it's just a really, really hyper cluck that's got that little bit of something nasty on the front of it. And basically the way we get this is we're going to have our tongue start at the top of our mouth like we do on every single note. So this is our roof cavity, or this is the cap. I can't speak today. But this is our mouth cavity. This is where our teeth are. This is our tongue. Our tongue is going to start behind our teeth, and we're going to build up the pressure from our lungs to this point. So all that air is built up behind it. You need to be basically trying to blow air through your tongue, but that tongue's creating a seal. So basically what it's doing is you feel that air built up from the tip of your tongue all the way down to your lungs. And I've got another video on that too. Check that out. It's about building tone, and it kind of goes into claw, honk, stuff like that. But we're going to really, really build up that note, or really, really build up that pressure behind our tongue. And then the best way I can describe it is a really harsh T sound. So I had this substitute teacher when I was in high school, and she always used to say a really, really hard T sound. So it's time to do your homework and stuff like that. So we really want to try to emulate that. So it's time. That's the initial air presentation into the call that we want to do. So let's try that into the call. We're just doing that really, really build up, and then we're releasing that T sound. And all I'm doing there is just dragging that sound out a little bit more, keeping that pressure going, and then bringing my tongue up to the roof of my mouth again to make the actual quick spit of it. So we've got the initial pop, but you've got that follow-up sound that's really building up to make it the quick spit. So this is the quick spit again. And just listen to that initial build-up in it, and that's what you're trying to get. All right, guys, let's get into a little bit more advanced stuff on this quick spit. And what we really want to focus on now. So pause the video here if you don't have it down yet. Um, you need to be able to get that initial air presentation, that hard T into the call, and to be able to spike it up and get that quick spit. Really get that hyper cluck with that little bit of something on the front of it. So until you get that, pause the video here. Don't even look. Don't even go forward until we get there. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to break down each part of the note, both two parts of the note, and we're going to manipulate both of them to get more variety out of our note, and we're going to really kind of take it to the next level and get different, what's the word I'm looking for? We're going to put a different inflection on the note. So let's start with the front half of the quick spit, the initial. So let's slow it down a little bit and let's think of it. So once we have that air buildup, let's drop our tongue a little bit slower, open our mouth cavity a little bit more. We're going to think a deeper thought, and we're going to extend our vocal cords, and we're going to make that front half of the note sound deeper. So it's going to be a little bit slower air go through the call. We're going to drop our tongue a little bit slower. We're going to open up our mouth cavity, and we're going to extend our vocal cords out like we're talking in a deeper voice. And it's going to give us a deeper sound up front. So the first one I'll do is a regular quick spit like what we were talking about. Then, like I said, I'll open up my mouth cavity a bit, extend those vocal cords, think deeper, and we're going to make a deeper initial sound to the quick spit. So again, the normal one is first. All right. Now, this is something that takes a lot of practice to get down because we're really, really breaking down each individual note. And we'll go into this on other notes as well. But we really, really want to focus on trying to get a couple different sounds out of that. So once you get it lower, once you get that little bit lower sound, let's take it to the other extreme. Let's tighten up our vocal cords like we're talking in a really high-pitched voice, really nasally. We're going to increase the speed that we put that air into the call, and we're going to make it sound higher pitched. So what I'm going to do, we're going to do a normal one, a deep one, and then a high-pitched one. So here we go. And another way you can kind of exaggerate this a little bit more, on the deeper one, kind of close off your back pressure a little bit more. So close your on hand down just a touch more, and it's going to help it get a little bit deeper. And the opposite is true on the high one. So you're going to really open up your hand, and it's going to allow the air to just escape from the call a little bit quicker, and it's going to be a little bit higher pitched. And so that's the initial front half of the quick spit. Now let's look at the second half, and that's the intensity of the breakover of the cluck. So what we're going to do is we're going to, let's say, for example, we want it to be a little bit less of an intense breakover. We want to just kind of start slower. Say we had a sequence and we wanted to start slower and then build up faster. So we're going to change the intensity of that crack over. And let me blow the call. It'll be a lot clearer. So basically what we're doing is we're starting a little bit lower and we're building the intensity up. So listen for it. So hopefully you could hear the difference in there of how we're making that crack over more intense. And basically what we're doing is we're just increasing the amount of air going through the call. We're really snapping our tongue to the roof of our mouth a lot harder in order to increase that inflection. And the first notes of that sequence was kind of more of a lazier tongue slap to the roof of my mouth. It's just a different way to get a different sound. These things are true for every single note. You can break down every single note into its individual components in order to build complexity, to build variation, and to get a different kind of tempo going and inflection into the call. So it's just something to try. So again, that kind of gives you a couple different starting points. Low, medium, high, an initial spit into the call, and then different intensities on the crack over. So that's just kind of something you can mess around with. And some other cool things you can do with a quick spit is just You can stack notes on top of it, do like quick double clucks like this. And it's just endless. That's why I love goose calling so much compared to duck calling. I'm a horrible duck caller. I can blow a goose call all day long. I can't blow a duck call. I'm horrible at it. But that's one thing that really intrigued me about goose calling to start, is that there was so much different stuff you could do. The vocabulary is so much more advanced to a duck call, to me. Now, you ask a duck caller, they're going to completely disagree with me, but rightfully so. They've got a lot more experience with it, or with their duck call, than I got with a duck call. But for me, the vocabulary of a goose is so complex, and there's so much to it, so much different inflections and everything like that to each individual note, that there's a lot more we can do with it. So to close out this video, we're going to kind of just have a little bit of a sound clip of me messing around with some quick spits and stuff like that. But before we exit from this thing, below is my Snapchat information. If you add me on there and send me a video, I'll listen to your quick spits and stuff like that. And if you're having a hard time getting it, we'll get it. Trust me. It took me a long time to get this stuff down. I've had it explained to me a million different ways, and trust me, we'll get it. It might take a little bit of time, but we'll eventually get it for you. We'll get you sounding better. And share this video with your buddies. What's better than one person doing a bunch of quick spits and stuff in the field? 2, 3, 4 people doing it. Now, don't necessarily overcall them, but if you got a bunch of different tonal variations in there and everything like that of it, it brings a whole new aspect to your hunting and a bunch of different stuff you can try. So share it with your buddy, help them learn to blow a quick spit, help teach them how to develop their quick spits more. I hope you learned something, and subscribe for more videos to come. Press that thumbs up button, and again, this is just some quick spits and a little bit of stuff thrown in there just to kind of close out the video. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.